So when a yogi comes to talk to yogi, they speak in precise language. That is called Sandhya Bhasha. It's a language spoken between two yogis because they know the subjects, they know their own subjects. So they will speak something, other will understand. But because they are not trying to understand the language, they are immediately trying to understand the thought patterns. Because the very science teaches you thinking, how to know the mind, not how to know the speech. There is nothing like that in Pakistan. First you know how one speaks. No. What is mind and its modifications? By having control over your mind and modifications, you attain the highest goal. Yoga has many connotations, I told you. Chitta Vritti Nirodhah. Now, as it has been explained into English, bad translators. Nirodha means, how it is explained? Come on, many of you read. What word have they used? Say? Hey, come on, many of you have read this.
Suppression.
Now, if you call it suppression, then suppression will lead your life. So it's a bad word. If you call it repression, that repression will lead your life. We all know. Even if you are not a student of psychology or teacher of psychology, you know that suppression and repression is a very dangerous something for your mental condition, mental life. So how Patanjali can say you should learn to suppress your mind and modifications? No. Nirodha, the word Nirodha. Patanjali said, let you learn to cultivate your mind when your mind is in a perfect state of equilibrium. That is the meaning. Nirodha does not mean suppression. Prepare, cultivate your mind in a way so that your mind attain a state of equilibrium and tranquility, so that it is fit to attain samadhi. That is the meaning. That's not the meaning. Suppress your mind, any feelings you have, suppress your thought, and you will become a yogi. You will become diseased. You can never become yogi. You will become sick. You can never become yogi. And most of the English texts say like that, translate that way. So yoga means obtaining control. Control means what? Do you want to be controlled by anybody? That's not the right word. In modern language and modern psychology, it is accepted to be crime to control somebody. If wife controls husband, it's not considered good. If husband controls wife, that is also not considered good. You see, understanding is good. A control means what? Chitta Vritti Nirodha means, I will have to explain it after I'll lead it to you. I'll tell you what is that control which Patanjali said. The way I was taught in a monastic order, I am teaching you the same way. You have 4 definite aspects of your mind, which are called modifications. Manas is one. Buddhi, ahamkaraya, ego, which you have the most, which you feed all the time. You can never forget that. And chitta. You should extensively know this. What it is, what is that? Well, how Patanjali describes this. And even after understanding these four functionings differently, how will you be benefited? You will not understand the word control, Nirodhah, for which you are trying to understand, follow the Anusasanam. Once in India, I told a minister, I said, how? One who has never practiced Anusasana, how can he do Sasana? And he got angry with me. I said, I don't care. I'm a Swami. I am telling you what I have to. Anusasana means discipline. Sasana means learning to control the masses. Or he was a leader. I said, how can you be leader without being disciplined? You are not disciplined. So you cannot make a good leader. So you will mislead the masses. So andhena niyamana yathanda. As the blind leads the blind, so you are doing the same thing. He was very angry with me. He said, I'll take police action against you. I said, that you can do, because you have police under yourself. But you will not practice Anusasana, that's what I want. You will not understand the word control of Chittavriti Nirodhah, because no yogi has Chittavriti Nirodhah. The moment he has, he is in Samadhi. No students have Chittavriti Nirodhah, none of you have. So when none of you have, how will you say what it is? What do you mean by? The Sutra says Chittavriti Nirodhah. These are four Chittavritis. What do you mean by Nirodha here? You say suppress them. Meaning you don't want your manas to think, you don't want your buddhi to function, you don't want your ego to function, you want your chitta to function, you want to suppress all the qualities of different faculties of your mind. Why do you call it suppression? Therefore, that translation is outdated. I don't accept it. You see. What real meaning is? Now, what does manas do in your life? Understand it. Pay full attention towards this. Your body is like a workshop. Now, in the workshop, there is somebody who is responsible for importing things and exporting things. He's the manager of exports and import of the factory that is called your body. Buddhi is that something which often checks it. It's a cashier, it's the accountant, it's CPA that tells you don't have that much capacity, don't do that. Don't export too much, don't import too much, we don't have that much money. The financial advisor within you, a very important post. So manas never learns to listen to buddhi. So remember, the firm, the factory which does not listen to the advice of the accountant can never run for a long time. Let me tell you that. If you want to be successful in the world, in business, you will have to learn to understand the accounting. From where accounting comes in yoga, there comes. Don't forget that there is a sound philosophy behind this science that is called Sankhya. Sankhya philosophy. Samyak akhyate, that which explains the whole. Your relationship with the universe, your very existence, and existence with the Absolute. The most ancient science on the earth is Sankhya philosophy, which is called digital philosophy also, from where it springs mathematics. Therefore, in yoga science, there is serious mathematics. You have to be a great mathematician if you want to be a good yogi. You see? You will have to understand how your buddhi is functioning. If your buddhi is prepared, sharpened enough to follow, to teach manas. Is manas listening to your buddhi or not? I know that I should not do something which is not to be done, yet I am doing because of bad manas. I am listening to my buddhi and I understand that my buddhi is right. Many times you know that you are not doing that is not to be done. You should not do something, yet you do. Why? Because manas has led you to form the habit patterns, and even you know buddhi is telling you and you are not listening. It means there is no perfect coordination between buddhi and mind, between the two faculties. So first of all, you will have to train your intellect, that is called buddhi, which discriminates, which judges, which decides, so that your mind functions well, which can import and export according to your capacity. If you go beyond your capacity, the firm will fail, the factory will fail. Then you will have to learn, what is this ego? Great deceptions, a mire of delusion, have been created by this ego. Ego is that which stands between you and the reality, that never wants to tell you and allow you to know the reality, because it has cheated the reality. Reality gave something. My master, as I have cheated my master. I'm telling you, I'm one of the examples. My master told me to be very selfless, loving, and remaining quite aloof from my students. I cannot. So I cheated him. So I'm like ego. Not exactly that, but I'm giving you the simile. What ego does? Ego forgets. Ego makes you forget the reality and has its own individuality. That separates you from the whole is called ego. That makes you small is called ego. That contracts your personality is called ego. That makes you individual is called ego. That does not allow you to expand yourself and become cosmic self is your ego. That always thinks you are so small, you are so bad, you are so little is called ego. You have to remind your ego that you are not this. This is not your firm. This body is not yours. This mind is not yours. Don't go in ego trip. But what are you doing? When you are praying, actually you think quietly, whom are you praying to? Ego. For whom? Ego. What for are you eating? For ego. I always say, I do this, I do this. From morning till evening, you are strengthening this ego, and that ego has separated you from the whole. That's why the yogis say, highest of yoga is to surrender that ego. It doesn't mean that cut the ego, surrender. Surrendering means making aware of the reality. Let this ego remain aware that you are only an agent and you are not the proprietor. When you allow this ego to become the proprietor of yourself, you are gone. What ego has done? Ego has this whole factory for itself and misusing all the means, human resources. That's why a human being is not becoming divine. That's why he is not attaining another state of, wisdom. That's why human being is still on mental wisdom, is not going beyond because of the ego. Now, all this is happening on a canvas. All these are being painted. Chitta, great source of wisdom. Now, you see, why are you not having Nirodha? You are not having Nirodha because you have not established coordination between ego, manas, buddhi and chitta. And you know it. You say, I will do tomorrow. When you are young, say, let me play football today, go out with my girlfriend, who cares why this Swami comes? Nobody will listen to Swami and Yogi. The Yogi says, sit down. He said, I better go with my girlfriend. You see. The poet says, when you are young, you don't have wisdom. When you have wisdom, you become old. So better start at the right time. You see, engage. It's very good to practice. You see, a tender bamboo can be bent easily. If you try to bend the grown-up, it will break. You see, you can do it. You can do it in 3 days' time. You can attain in 3 hours' time, provided you have full determination. So you lack sankalp shakti, determination, you cannot attain that which is called Nirodhah. You cannot have the finest quality of mind because there is no coordination. Now, if there is no coordination in my body, my hands tell me to go this side, grab something, my mouth says grab this, eat this, my eyes say see this, what will happen to me? I will be working like crazy. According to yoga, those who don't have Nirodha, they are like crazy people. Be aware of the crazy people in the world. But here I see everybody is crazy. Where do you live? And you yourself are crazy, living with the crazy. We have to help ourselves by understanding this. We have to understand how manas functions. What is the function of manas? What is the function of buddhi? What is the function of chitta? What is the function of ego? Such a mind which is attained, cultivated, that state of ego, that state of equilibrium is prepared for samadhi, otherwise not. Not before that. So suppression is not right translation. I don't accept it. I was never taught to do that. What do you mean by suppression? All the suppressions do bring misery. You see anything you suppress, you do same thing in your dream. Dream helps you, nature helps you not to suppress, and you are suppressing. Therefore, suppressing is not the right word. Nirodha is the right word, which cannot be translated into English language, but say cultivate, coordinate all the aspects of your mind, cultivate that mind which leads you to a state of wisdom where that mind is fit enough to attain the highest state called samadhi. That's what yoga is. After understanding the Nirodha, you attain samadhi. So there are two meanings. Chittavriti Nirodha iti yoga. And through yogic techniques, you establish the coordination, cultivate that wisdom and attain samadhi. There are two meanings of this.